I'm going to start my speech. Hello, my name is Gabriella Sleben, and my value speech is on Florida and why I value Florida. So originally, I value Florida because of its beaches, its really nice weather, and its unique aquatic life. The first time I ever went to Florida was in December of 2020, and it made me realize that I wanted to eventually live there and move there and start my career there once I finished school in Illinois. It showed me the differences between Wisconsin and like the Midwest versus Florida and the South. When I went, we had a really bad snowstorm. We had driven to Florida at the time, and we had to actually pull over in Indiana. We didn't get very far because of how bad the snow was. The snow was there was so caused so many accidents, and it just was unsafe to travel. And it made me realize that I could be living in a place where it's warm all the time versus somewhere where it's cold and wet. And since you now have an idea of the first time I went to Florida, I want to get into why I actually prefer Florida over Illinois. So first, the Midwest has all four seasons, which I don't really like. I'm not a fan of fall or winter. I think the Midwest gets very dark and gloomy and like wet and cold, and it actually activates my seasonal depression. In the winter and fall, because it gets dark by like 5 o'clock, I get really unmotivated and just kind of bleh in a way. And I actually prefer when it's hot and humid over dry and cold. I really enjoy summer. I would rather be hot than cold any day. And I personally think that Illinois looks very boring and bland compared to Florida. Um, last time I drove over Florida, last time I went to Florida, I flew, and flying over Florida, it was just very vibrant, very green and blue. And then when we flew back over Illinois, it was kind of like brown and boring and just not appealing to me, at least. And then I want to get into my final reasons why I like Florida. I personally love swimming and sitting in the sun and tanning. And I don't really like lakes. I just think they're kind of dirty, which is ironic. So I don't really like lakes. I prefer going swimming in the ocean. I really love the waves. I think that the waves are super fun to like play in and swim in. And then I also just think that Florida sun is like better than Illinois sun because it's closer to the equator. And then the second reason why I absolutely value Florida is its aquatic life. I personally love majority of the sea life. My favorite animal is a whale shark, and love dolphins as well. And when I was in Florida, I went on a dolphin boat tour, and it was really cool to see the dolphins in their own element just not flying, jumping out of the water, and it was just a really cool experience. And then I also went snorkeling, and it was really unique to see how many different kinds of fish I saw and the coral. So I just personally like it way more. And these are the reasons why I value Florida. And while some people like to experience all four seasons, I personally think I would be happy living somewhere where it is warmer. Thank you. And then I'm going to show my audience. And then that is my speech on why I value Florida.